has come all the way from the UK, the United Kingdom. So it is a good opportunity, it is a great privilege to be here with us. We are most honored to have you here, Professor. So we'll start from now. Lydia will be reading out the program. However, I would like to first welcome you all. Today is both a commemoration and a call to conscience. So we acknowledge with deep sorrow that many of our mothers, sisters, and daughters, you might also see here from the banner, they have endured acts which were intended not only to harm their bodies, but to shatter their dignity and silence their voices. Such violence represents grave violations of human rights and an assault on the very foundations of our society. Yet, even in the face of unimaginable cruelty, these women, the survivors and our women who had gone through this kind of brutality, they stand among us, resilient, courageous, and dignified. Their survival is not merely endurance, it is strength. Their presence is not weakness, it is resistance. As a community, we must ensure that their pain is neither politicized nor forgotten. Justice must not be delayed. Accountability must not be selective. Compassion must not be conditional. To the survivors, we say with humility and respect, your suffering is not your shame. Your courage is our collective strength. Your dignity remains intact. May this day renew our shared commitment to justice, healing, and lasting peace. Thank you. So with that, I would like to give the time to Lydia Boykin.
A warm welcome, one and all, to the International Women's Day Observance and Press Conference. The theme for today's gathering is Voice for the Voiceless. As we know, the venue is KWS Activity Center. Timing will be from 6 till 9:30. And today's program has been organized by the 𝗞𝘂𝗸𝗶 Women's Forum, Delhi and NCR. Today we have Ms. Sarah as our recording secretary, and our session will be divided into two, the first and second. The first will be hosted by me, Lydia, and my co-host, Ms. Kim. First, we will begin with the Candlelight Vigil, which will be led by Evangelist Lingmail. We will also have a media coordination and press interaction, which will be led by Ms. Kim. In the second session, we will have Ms. Lingboy, who is the Information and Publicity Secretary, will be leading our session. There will also be a welcome address and brief report from the convener, 𝗞𝘂𝗸𝗶. We will also be graced with speeches from KID, KSOD, KWD, KWS, as well. We also have many special guests and advisors who will also be gracing the occasion with a short speech from their side. And some of the mentioned guests are 𝗞𝘂𝗸𝗶, 𝗞𝘂𝗀𝗶, 𝗞𝗂𝗀𝗀, 𝗀𝗡𝗀, and 𝗞𝗀𝗀 as well. And we will be concluding the day with a vote of thanks from the co-convener, and we'll be closing it with a prayer from Nu Namling Chongmar, and followed by dinner. As we have gathered on this memorable day, not only to celebrate women's voices that have been raised through generations, but also the many voices which have been struggling and have struggled to find a place in this forum. We acknowledge their pain, and in order to show our reverence to their pain and in order to show our respect to their strength, let us all stand as we take part in the Candlelight Vigil. This Candlelight Vigil will be in remembrance of not just our mothers, sisters, and all the women who have suffered not only through history, but in the recent past in our own homeland, the women that have been suffering under the rule that has unjustly taken sons from mothers, unjustly taken husbands from wives, and unjustly taken fathers from daughters. May I now request Evangelist Hingneo to take and lead the candlelight vigil.
Masan bolun Happy Women's Day. Women's Day chibai ka hin boludin. Tuni kay song Southwest langa ka kimang chan hila ka chol thimin ahiwa nga chu program atamin AP song le hilaya program song ka hin dala heta in. He chun zol silent period for 1 minute. We will be having a silent period for 1 minute for the sake in remembrance of our sister, mother, who have lost their life for the sake of our motherland. So before that, Chomcha I hope power Tuni International Women's Day ahito kitana no te elole ingai chengo dunga ai nupi in ho numei ho get thei tho no tha be igel do ki novin chu jong le ho zo sin jong tuni hi chi kin imanu to ki hona hi chi kin hi wa dinga thei ha thasit na le elole I to do I bol do ding ho discourage na hilowin I past life wa ko na strength na mabana I heart be che na diwa inei diu kadei sa en hi chu numei pathinin Bible la numei pasal asim hi chom ro chom anei he na numei a hi wa nga chu man thei lo ding elo le pham bol do to do nei lo ding chin a hi pot a hi wa ngin numei hi ban nang pasal hi jong la kat sa nei principle in nei he cho phat is a maintain I bol ding chu la igam in a ma dinga I pan he ti chu tha me ikitil ho na no mo hi in as ke yong AWGIN elo le pham tun pathin thu lagin ga kilu hi jong le ke ka ne wa pa na the gam lanam elo pham cha choma pathin thu elo ta sa thu na wa he again the ho elo hi te a gale to ze a thina man na to ho he ipu na pi na ki bang he na ipu na pi na ki bang so so si hon jong idung hiam pi win chule tunin amolem sa nu te henlang elo le so pi numei ho amolem sa ho jong na thau lumo selin ki chol dun tin ki ho zo sin to adam lai ki hoi nang ho khunung ka hin zu ba masanga ito do thelo ho elo mabana ito do thein din jong ki ho jong ha ta le elo to ngai ta pon tho ta ka hung pan diu amolem sa ho jong thasit na le elo lung tha dai na elo le pem na hau jong thasit na lungmon lo ne lo lungmo sel dam selin na hau jong chol do han ti chu ga sei do no mo hin tun ibon cha bin ting otin let us all rise up and ibon cha bin ting otin Ege tu in hichi candle lightning in bol to ki hona molem sa tu ni hilaya benela hong kita ho jong imovin iso piu thisana ping lo hi jong le nam khat ai lo la ipon chawa by blood sibling hi zong la ai ho zo si adinga zong i u inau i so pi ho zo si tha ben igel do ki novin chule ama ho zo si zong tuni International Women's Day ahi to kirana zana ipivin chule ingai lu now i hom tho now zong i pho kovin he chun tua hi bon chavin 1 minute tabang imino na sing within zo phat na chun ka phat ke man ka hen chai ding ai tai so let us all close our eyes and let us have 1 minute silent for our beloved sister mother. Let us remember them and let's have a silent period for 1 minute. Please remain closing your eyes and I will pray. Pakai ki pa ove tuni hitabang gen the ha satna elo le piham thi ni manna elo la tam ta en pha chi so ho ka gel do oven hi zong le ke ho zo si adinga hi chi ka past life o he lung hen pi elo le ke ho adinga kalhasi pi wa ka ponat pi jing wa le ke ho zo si adinga zong tha ha na ki do do na thei lo de he zong le hi chi International Women's Day ka hin manu to ke lona pha chi sa tu nau chapang ki su ken theina ka so pite ho am ho zo si zong tha ben ka gel do ki novin zong le ka za nau ka ngai lu nau ka hom tho nau am ho ang sunga chule nang ma ang sunga ki ho zo si hong khom ho zo si ang sunga ka ngai lu na ka za nau ka hen pi ki novin he tun ni ta bang program ka hin man to ki thana ki ho zo si zong pakai adam lai si nu te nunga aho nu te ho chale cookie zo women ho mabana ki ho adinga tha be a kha do na le phat chi sa ho kum khat kum ni sanga mabana na phatam ta ka to do naw le ki ho adinga ki til khona ta sa tha ha na ai lo la thil tam pi ka bol do naw au ngi theina ding in zong tuni ka program te ho nang man nei lo le pi bin tin he ka taw bin he si program ka hin man deu ta ki thona program a min chung ho speech nei di ho a hi in ong ki mang cha di zo si pa kai nang man na man cha tuni ka sei do ho la ka ki til ho na te ho ke ho adinga a he thiam thei nai lo hon he thiam thei na ma sanga thil apun na thei lo adinga tha be apun na ka nei wa hat be che na malama kal son be na ka nei thei na divin speech nei di ho jong pa kai nang man hang san ta ki til ho ta tu a sei do thei na divin phat hung hin mang che di ho jong ka taw pi vin he program te ho jong nang ma khona ka hin than do vin ka ki man cha na te ho he ke ho he che program ka hin man tu ki hana ke ho adinga ki til ho na le baba na kal sang se be na ka man thei na divin he ka taw vin he ka phat te ho le ke ho azaw de ho zo si zo pon tho ta ka panwa phat chai chan ge ya pa kai nang ma ong pi na ka zo thei na divin he ka taw vin he chule tunin so pi chi ma sa no te ulenau tunin mai ho de a lai di nunga hong kita do no te ho so pi te ho zong tunin tha ben ka gel do ki duvin a chi ma sa cheng ho zong na tha u la si lo se na ven ke ho zo sen zong tunin na khonung ka hin zui vin ka hin lung hem pi vin na ho zo si thu kim gen thei ne he ke ho ading in tha na zo hong ye zo han thil pa tam pi ka bol do thei na hong ye zo han thang tom na và nuôi lấy sẽ là mi tâm tận abol thầy lâu abol độ zo lâu cookie zo women te ho an bol độ thầy na hong ye zo han tin ka taw vin e na ho zo se lu mong se len na hau zong ki chol dun tin ki ho adinga mabana mal som na hong ye zo han tin ka taw vin e ka phat te ho le hong ki mang che de ho nang ma khot na ka yan than de changa chu hu pu pa kai su na men thing pa na ka taw hi amen Ima parts and
Satu saya na tempat kung nakautin. We apologize for the discomfort that you may have, but that is just for a few minutes that we are, we have this discomfort. But when you look at the pictures here above, you can understand the kind of pain, the kind of fear, before they breathe their last, the kind of thoughts that they might have thought, it's unbearable. Anyways, I apologize. Hello, 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗶. Welcome to the Happy Women's Day. And we would like to give, 𝗪cie𝗂𝗿𝗶 is still on the way. Actually, she is our main speaker. However, she is still on the way, stuck in the traffic. So let's give her some time. So I would also like to give some time to 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗴 so that she takes a few minutes to absorb, because she's come from a long way. In the meantime, I would like to bring up Professor Reddy here, and this is because we did not want to put his name here because of some security reasons, if you can understand it. So we would like to call out Professor Reddy on the stage to give us a few words, and then 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗴 can take her time for the speech. Professor Reddy, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very greatly honored to be here. Many of us on Twitter got to know about the conflict through the efforts of people like Kim and many other youngsters who tirelessly tried to inform us and the rest of the world about what was happening in Manipur. It was mainly through their efforts that your travails have become known to at least some of us. The world at large still does not know what has happened. Meiteis especially still do not know. And the government may or may not know. And it's so unfortunate that such a big calamity has happened in a state where an entire community has been displaced and so many people have lost their lives and lost their homes and lost their livelihoods and their way of living, and many of you are among them. So it's with deep sadness that I stand in front of you and acknowledge your sufferings, and I'm grateful for having shared at least a little bit of it from all the Twitter meetings that Kim and her friends organized almost day after day, week after week for 3 years. Advocate 𝗪𝗏𝗏 has also been with us from the beginning, and we participate in many discussion groups on WhatsApp and try to provide whatever advice and guidance we can provide in order to help you to get through this struggle. And we will stand with you till the end. So please do not lose heart. There are many of us who are listening to your voices, and we know what exactly happened to you, and we know what solution you need. And we are with you, and we will fight for it till the end, till you achieve it. Thank you very much.
Let's welcome 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗴 with the
Good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, okay. I'm a bit surprised that I'm called first because I thought it's Dr. Ramsey who's going to speak before me and also relax and just trying to get comfortable. But anyway, yes, today we all know around the world International Women's Day is being observed, and in some places it's celebrated where trophies and achievements and outstanding performance of women are being distributed to the women who deserve. And for a 𝗪𝗂𝗀𝗶, if you look at here, I really like this courage and resilience. You know, a day today should be a day of celebration, today a day of achievement, and today should be the day where we acknowledge the courageous women of the 𝗪𝗂𝗀𝗶. At the same time, the celebration cannot be conducted to what happened to us. It's rather a day of pain, a day of suffering, a day of injustice, a day of remembering what happened to our sisters and mothers over there in Manipur. We, the women, are supposed to be the pillar of the society. We, the women, are supposed to be the pillar of giving love, courage, nurturing the world together. But very, very painful to our victims, whose body itself was violated. Very, very painful to the woman who's supposed to be cradling love in the society, being molested, being, brutally killed. And we know that the government has neglected us in a big way. We know that. And I don't even know who told us not to criticize center government. I don't know who told us this. Because if we look at the way the center government is looking after the 𝗪𝗂𝗀𝗶 victims, it looked like they're ignoring us right from day one. Right from day one when our women, Olivia and Florence, were being given by the Métis mother to be molested, raped, and killed, even those from the beginning. And we've been shouting, but then there's silence even from the Prime Minister. But still we are told not to say anything against the center government. And we thought that the PM had no time for us, but at the same time when the popular government was formed, in a minute of a second of the popular government formed, he was quick in tweeting congratulations to the new formed government. That means he was aware what was going on, he was aware what's happening in our state. And today, if we look back, none of our women, especially women, I would say women because of the Women's Day, get justice. None. I would say none. Few compensation, which everybody get anyway if you're in one form or the other of a victim, you get that. And it is also so painful that one of the victims is among us. And when I spoke to her, she said, I will never even want to hear the voice of Métis. I never want to go back to the people who killed my brother, my nephew in cold blood, who molested me, sexual violation was on me. And now, our very own people are forcing us to go back to that regime. I don't even know how to even say, how to even start this Women's Day. It's a call, it's a shout for justice, it's a shout. Today is a day where we can highlight louder what happened to us. When war happened, when violence happened, when unrest happened, it is always the innocent women and children who suffer the most. And I myself has seen how our tribal society are looking at us, a woman, how we're mistreated in everything. Apart from our this violent suffering, apart from that, if you look at the 𝗪𝗂𝗀𝗶 and the tribal community, if you look at that, women are, stereotyped. We are look as if we are just a helper in the community. today, I mean, so many men are there, but don't mind me saying, in a tribal society, women are not given an important role in our society. Even in church, you'll not see a woman sitting on stage along with the male folks. She'll be given somewhere down there. And this kind of, bias way of looking at us, not only we suffer in the face of us citizens of India, we also suffer even in our tribal community, the women. When I look at, we all are Christian, when I look at the Bible, in Genesis, the word suitable helper in Hebrew, it literally translated as someone who is strong to help someone in need, who can aid, who can help someone who's in need. Means if you call somebody to help you out if you're stuck somewhere, you'll call someone more smarter, you call someone more stronger, you call someone more capable, right? So we women in Genesis is expressed as a helper who's stronger than someone who needs help. Like we're stronger in many ways. We're stronger. Even God himself described in the Bible that very word in Hebrew, helper. God described himself as that helper to us. But today, our society has put us in such a way that even our price, the bride's price is reduced to nothing. We're worth nothing. There was a time when the woman, the tribal woman, cost 10 mithun, 𝗪𝗀𝗀 10, 15 mithun. Today, they don't even want to pay 100 rupees for one mithun, There's so much to say today. The subject is so vast. It is so broad that we don't even know where to start and where to end. But I want to say that living in Delhi, there are few things we can do. There are few things we can do as a woman. Identify our young girls wherever they're working in corporate, companies and places where they're working. Let's identify them and help them. If anybody working in a place like a hotel or a restaurant, if their work shift is after 9 o'clock, we can fight for, a safe drop facility, a transportation. I've come across 2 young girls who work in a small restaurant, and I went and asked them, how many hours are you working here? So they told me the time, and it was about 12 in the night. And I said, how do you commute to go home? They say, we take auto rickshaw. I was like, is that provided by your company? They give us conveyance. I said, who all are in the auto? They say, 4 men and 2 girls. I was so angry that day. That premium restaurant couldn't even provide safety to their transportation. And it's a rule that in any hotel, in any restaurant, in any place where you're working, if it's beyond working timing, you are supposed to get a safe transportation back home. As a 𝗪𝗂𝗶 woman over here in Delhi, the fight that we have, the struggle that we have is so vast, but at the same time, this burdened me so much today in this International Women's Day. Let's search the safety of our young girls in a metro city. And if they work overtime, we can fight for overtime. If they're not provided proper meals, we can fight for that. I think this is what we can do, at least something that we can achieve observing this day today. And also lastly, I want to thank the 𝗪𝗂𝗶 women for relentless fight for our people. I mean, it's not easy to keep calling press conference, to have a meeting like this, and then those ladies and women especially who contributed money for today. I saw the list and I have tears in my eyes. They're open, with open heart, give money so that we can speak and we can have this meeting. What can be done for our people, for our young girls, And the people who work in the beauty parlors and all this kind of line, it's good to know the establishments, what facility, what kind of workplace it is. It's good for that. Because people stereotype us, people look down at us, not because we wanted to, just because we need to work to provide for ourselves and for our family. Really, I don't know Our leader over here can talk about justice in so many ways, but for me, I really feel a burden for our young girls over here in Delhi who, because of the violence, displaced, and they try to make a living not knowing anything about Delhi. It is our duty for you and I who have lived here for generations, for years. We know the city is not safe. We know that people mistreat us. We know that we are underpaid. We know that rules and regulation are not taught to us. They don't know that there is a minimum wages also in the city. I met another two young girls working in a petrol pump, a gas refilling place. These are places where when we go out in the city, when we walk around, let's interact with them. Don't need to take their names or no need to take their identity that she's the daughter of so and so. But I said that at the same time, it's good to ask them, to say hello to them. So these two girls were paid only 7,000 a month. I say, how are you managing with just 7,000 a month? They said, this is our first job. I say, are you safe with all these male working over here while we just do, our duty, just filling the fuel, and we just say thank you and all. So I told them, in Delhi, especially in Delhi, smiling back to the male driver itself is a wrong signal. Do you know that? They say, we don't know. I mean, you don't have to have eye contact. When you feel the fuel and take money, you don't have to say thank you. You don't have to do that. Even all these things, it's a very small thing to even talk about in such an important day today. But I feel if we don't start with this grassroots kind of challenges that we have as a Northeast woman, as a Northeast girl, we will not progress much in life. Teaching them their rights, teaching them what is appropriate for the city, teaching them what kind of language is inviting people, what kind of smile is giving a wrong signal to them. Teaching them all these things. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And if I say something wrong, please forgive me. But if something we can do in these 2 points that we talk about, safety of women going back home after long working hours, and also minimum wage payments, and also helping them seek a better job, you can count on me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, 𝗪𝗏, for depicting the harsh realities that many of our girls face. And indeed, it is a responsibility of us who have come here first to ensure that the recent comers from Northeast, and I believe it extends not only to just our community, but even Northeast as a general, where we have come to the mainland of India, where they require such help. And it is such a beautiful waking call, because it starts from the grass level, whether you call about a big change or whether you call about a small one. It has to start with each and every one of us. Now, moving ahead, we will request 𝗪𝗏 to come up and share her views, and the stage is yours, ma'am.
Nitaka. Yeah. Today we are celebrating womanhood. Woman, the heart of our homes. It's significant because now, due to this conflict, we have lost our home as an IDPs. I'm standing here before you all as a IDPs. Today I would like to dedicate this International Women's Day celebration to all our women, our cookies, resilient women back home and even here in Delhi, because we have suffered since 3rd May untold miseries. So I dedicate this day especially to them. In the eyes of the world, we are victims. We are considered victims. Why? Because we've been displaced, we've been chased out inhumanly from our home. But we, and 70,000 or thousands of cookies of women, we do not think we are victims. We think we are survivors, because we have survived the pogrom that had been inflicted upon us. So we are not victims, but we are survivors. And being a resilient cookies of woman, we will continue being a survivor. So never look, because when we call ourselves the victims, then we are lowering ourselves. We're thinking that we are nothing, because victims, but we still have hope, because I know how resilient we are, how strong we are here. and then how we fought for this past 3 years. Could have survived this pogrom that has been inflicted against us for 3 years, right? We have lost more than 30 of our sisters. I have lost my own cousin also, Miss 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏. She's my own cousin. But in spite of that, we carry on. As an IDP, I've been told to relate my stories, which I have related thousands of times. But today, just to remind our people that on 3rd May, what happened to me and thousands of our people. 3rd May was indeed a very tense day, because as you can see that on 3rd May, there was a rally conducted by AWGIN, All Manipur Tribal Student Union, in 9th district of Manipur. So we got information, and we were very tense because we don't know what was happening. There was a lot of comment from the other community. There were a lot of criticism. So we were very tense. But we thought the rally went off successfully because nothing happened during the rally. But a few hours after that, at around 8 p.m., what happened to us was that in 𝗞𝗂𝗃𝗏, I belong to 𝗞𝗂𝗃 𝗪𝗏𝗀𝗃 West. There, thousands of people, mob, consisting of men, women, boys, there were no young girls, surged into my colony. They came like a wave, screaming, war cries like, "Kill the cookies." That was the war cry that they raised that night. They came in, and because we were not aware of what was happening, we were bewildered, we were perplexed, we were scared. So we hid ourselves, we barricade ourselves, and we hid ourselves into and locked the gate. And soon enough, they started pelting stones, small rocks. They started throwing rocks into our home. They shattered the glass window panes. They did not enter a house right away. Then again, we thought, since we don't know what was happening, we were not aware of the real situation. We hid ourselves, and then we started praying. Prayer was the only hope that we have. Because I call up all my friends, all the army friends that I know, all the police officers I know. I have so many friends in this police force also. Was asking them to come and rescue us or to send reinforcement to come and pick us up and guard our colony, 𝗞𝗂𝗃𝗏 in Far West, in the capital city of Manipur. Anyway, to cut the story short, they came to attack us and to chase us out of a house. This ordeal that we suffered, my family and my people of the colony and the rest of the world, our 𝗥𝗏𝗀 community in Imphal, lasted for around 8 hours. From 8 p.m. in the night, and it ended at about 2:30, 3 a.m. in the morning, where we were taken safely to the army camp. We praise God for that. We said we are safe now. Our motley crew consisted of my mother, who was 89 at the time. Now she's 91, living in Delhi. And then my youngest granddaughter, who's just about 1 year. So we were about 5 of us. The rest of them were scattered, like Rosie, who's going to speak next to me. Their family were taken to they ran and hid in some other places. So our orders are all different, but then we were safely taken. After standing for 1.5 hours on the road and witnessing all the crowd, the mob, they were ransacking our home, they were bursting our cylinders. We watched, and after 1.5 hours, we were taken to the police station in Babupura. And from there, at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., we were taken to the army came to rescue us from there. And then, by then it was 3 a.m. We had dinner, of course, by 8 o'clock, everybody had dinner already, but there was no place to sleep, there was no place to eat. The army offered us. And the best thing was that when we ran out of the house, we came out with just the clothes that we were wearing. Because we didn't know that we were supposed to be chased out forever. We were under the impression that we will be coming back and staying in a house, and then everything will be fine. Little did we know that till today, for 3 years, we'll not be able to step foot into our own house. We are patta holders, we own those houses, but till now, I cannot go to 𝗪𝗏. I cannot go to my house. I cannot live in my house. I know people are encroaching in my house, staying there. They're running their business. They're not paying rent to us also because the government is not enforcing rent on them. So, excuse me. So all these things happened to us, and to 70,000 houses were destroyed that particular night. Exactly. Actually, we don't know the exact number. These are just estimated number that 352 churches have burned, 70,000 has been destroyed. Yeah, but my house was partially destroyed. We were the lucky one because we just behind the house was Chief Minister Birren Singh's car showroom. He have a car showroom, and his daughter was running a beauty parlor there. So if they burn my house, then obviously it could also destroy his car showroom. So coming back to that, I don't want to go back, because when we talk about the ordeal that we have undergone 3 years back, it still haunts us, it still hurts us. But sometimes we have to talk it out so that other people will be aware of what we have gone through. Now, as an IDPS, from 3rd May, after staying in the army camp for 3-4 days, we came to Delhi on 6 May 2023. Since then, our life have taken a 360 turn. From living a comfortable life in our own home, we are now living in a rented accommodation in an apartment, where my mother or everybody is not used to living in such cramped environment, space. But still, we are adjusting. We get harassed from a landlord because we eat different, we speak different, we eat different, we dress different, and we look different. So wherever we go, in some form or the other, we face harassment from the mainland people. Sorry to say about that, but they are mainland and we are not Easterners. So we do suffer, even in the hand for small things like that. Then we are struggling with the rent. We are paying rent for a 2-bedroom flat. If you go to South Delhi, the rents are like 50 to 70,000, which we cannot afford. So we stay in a middle class colony like Mahavir Enclave, where we pay 25 to 30,000 per month. But in spite of that, there is electricity bill, water bill, and so many things. So as an IDP, we're still suffering. We are still, we still suffering that about this thing that's happening. On top of that, we have no access to proper medical care in our homeland in Chitranpur, in Lanka. So we come here to Delhi for medical treatment. For the past 6 months, especially among the 𝗞𝗂𝗶 community, there are deaths. Every 2 months, they are dead because people came to Delhi late, and then they don't get medical treatment on time. So they're dead every now and then. So even the number of dead due to this non-access to medical facilities have increased in this past 2-3 years. So we are running every month, every second day, we are attending condolence meeting. We are going to AIMS for embalmment. So our life is just revolving around that. Now we are socially isolated also because we are, as a community, we are a group. We do everything in a group back home also. Here we are trying. We have a church, we join them. But then we always different from the people who lived here earlier than, IDPs, than the people who has come as an IDP. So life is actually very difficult for us. We've also faced social isolation. And then the smear campaign started by the 𝗞𝗂𝗶 against the cookie zombie community is that it's very hurtful for us. We heard that we've been called illegal immigrants. My family itself, my parents, they bought a house in 90s. They've been living there for 60 years, more than 60 years in 𝗞𝗂𝗶 in Far West. My grandfather has been living in Lanka. My great-grandfathers have been living in. So we are not illegal immigrants. So it really hurts our sentiment when we be called illegal immigrants. Secondly, they said you are a poppy cultivators. Yes, I agree. We do cultivate poppies. There are people, we can't deny it. But not all of us are cultivating. For the first time in my life, I saw poppy only in a photograph. I haven't seen poppy flowers even in real. But when I went to cycle last time, I have visited, made some like through the CHIKIM when I was a member of that. When I went there, I saw hillocks which were all bare. You know, there were no trees or nothing. So I asked my colleague and I said, what happened to this? Why is this hillock very bare? You know, where are the trees gone? The answer was that, oh, this was used for poppy cultivation. So it was a fact, and we can't deny it. But to term the whole community as a poppy cultivator is wrong, because we have the maytei, we have the Nagas, and we have even the Muslim people dealing in with poppy cultivation. So we have been given, and on top of that, there is a very insulting to the woman. You know, they say that Assam rifle people, the 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗶𝗴𝗏 people are the comfort woman. We have been termed as a comfort woman, that we are providing comfort to them, which is so insulting. You know, it's an insult to the sick, because you know that we don't do that. We are also Christians, so that means we are prostituting ourselves, which is not true. So these kind of things has actually made us feel very have lower self-esteem, because even though if we don't do it ourselves, but when they term us as a comfort woman for the Assam rifle woman, you know how it is, how bad it is for us, for our image. So, and then there are so many problems we face as an IDP here. Medical, like my mom, for example, she's 90 years old. Every month we have to go to the hospital for her treatment. And the cost is so exorbitant, because we want to see good doctors. You don't want to go to any government hospital. So, and then with the cost of living so high and medical, we can barely afford this kind of facilities here. So our life actually, before the war, before the conflict in 2023, and after the conflict in 2025 has totally changed, drastically changed, I would say. And the mental trauma that we suffer because of this conflict, because of being treated badly on 23rd of May, is still in our mind. Sometimes when I think about it, I remember how they chased us, how they came to our house and they told us, "Chato means get out of the house. We are going to burn your house." You know, that kind of voice, I keep still hearing it in my mind. So those trauma is still going to be with us for generation. I think our community is going to suffer this generation trauma and the pain of what we have undergone that day. I do not wish what happened to us on 3rd May 2023, even on my enemy, because I cannot express myself explicitly what I felt and how shocked and how numb I was that night. But the trauma is still hurting me till today in 2026. Now today I'm so happy that we are celebrating International Women's Day with so many men around, because without the men participation, women and men should always participate together. Without working in tandem with each other, nothing will work. So thank you, Mr. Reddy, all the way from London, Vishwajit, Boy, then of course everybody. I don't have to name them, but everybody, I see these faces every now and then. Whenever we have 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗶 women meeting, I see the men also showing this support. So please continue showing us support, because without you all, we women cannot do anything on our own. We can do it, of course, but when you support us, it will be more, it is better, you know, it is more in hand. So we need your support. Today, I salute all the women's martyrs that we have, all these pictures here behind. I salute them for the bravery. May their soul live in peace. May they live comfortably in heaven, and may their justice be served, because though the Constitution has given us our rights, our justice, without practice, without justice, it is not which is not being enforced, we will never get justice. So let's pray that by next International Women's Day, we will get the justice that we deserve. Thank you very much.